All right. Up next is Halloween.
Cool.
I love the title of this. It's not just because the other one, the remake was just Halloween, right?
Yeah,
Is
the
that what
one
it was called?
Was it 2018?
But like Danny McBride like wrote that movie, right? Or he produced
co-wrote
it.
It was him, and who's his writing partner? I can't remember. I want to say it's the same two guys that did Your Highness. Like I want to say he made Your Highness
Look it up.
with this guy too.
Yeah, Halloween. Yeah.
Oh, and what's his? It takes me a while to know people's names.
What the hell? It takes forever. Where's it? Danny McBride,
David Gordon Green.
David Gordon. Oh, that's the guy that did the Vice Principals and Eastbound and Down. Yeah. David Gordon Green.
But they nailed it in the first one.
So that was just called Halloween. This one's called Halloween Kills.
Yeah.
And there's a third one already announced called Halloween
Ends, I think. Yeah.
That's next year. It's 1 year later.
Well, they were supposed to be 1 year and a year and a year, and then they got thrown off by COVID. That's why it's been so long. They were all supposed to be spaced out like a year apart.
Oh man, I love Danny McBride. Just looking at
They're great.
All right.
Everything he does is great. So far.
You ever seen Legacy of a White-tailed Deer Hunter?
No.
They wrote that together. Yeah.
No, I never.
By the way, that's my recommendation of this Friday night. It's him and Jody Hill, which is the other guy that does those shows with him. Mm-hmm. Wrote it. And it's him and Josh Brolin and Danny McBride. Danny McBride, Josh Brolin. It's Josh Brolin the lead. And he's like this hunter video guy. And Danny McBride's like his like cameraman. He does like these nature videos. And Josh Brolin gets his son. His mom and them are divorced. It's hilarious. It's like a comedy kind of. It's hilarious.
Yeah, I don't think
it's on Netflix. It's called The Legacy of a White-tailed Deer Hunter. It's like the weirdest.
I'll look for it.
It's like a Netflix made movie. But if you like, that shtick, you like that shit.
I like these guys.
Let me do this. Oh my god, I keep doing the same thing. Getting used to it. All right, ready?
Always good. Halloween to be a kid.
Kills. That's that house from the first one, yeah. Which is a weird suspect plan. I don't like her.
Is it? Yeah, for real.
See this in the
These
first
are the
one?
most effective first responders in Haddonfield because. Yeah.
Was this part of the first one?
No, this is
okay.
This looks like it follows immediately after the first one,
which
I like.
Just like the original Halloween 2, right?
That's cool.
Okay, it just ends with the house burning.
You do too much time in between, then you start doing some bullshit about there was a guy in a mask got his head cut off, and that wasn't really Michael. Like,
This is also what a Quiet Place does too. They just start immediately after the first one. For these types of movies, just do it.
Michael Myers is alive.
I don't need any lore or stories.
We know what we signed up for. You don't have to retell the same story if you just continue it directly after.
Not have to keep running. Evil dies.
I like the original second one.
And they're in the hospital too. That's kind of fun throwback.
Yeah,
to
just
Halloween
like that one. Yeah.
Sit and watch another innocent person die.
If you track Michael's victims, that's a straight line.
Nice. Silver Shamrock.
Childhood home. Oh yeah, the mask.
Let's hunt him down.
Michael Myers.
Is that Anthony Michael Hall?
But a man couldn't have survived.
Oh, he is in it, isn't he? Because he plays Tommy.
He's like a bully or something.
The more he transcends.
I think they were actually tried to get Paul Rudd to come do this because he played the grown-up version of the character.
And he looks the same.
Yeah, and he still looks 20.
They're showing a lot in this trailer for a horror movie.
For real.
You want your mask? Come and get it!
See, right there.
For you, Michael.
Ooh, I like the strings.
Looks fun, yeah. Cool.
That's fun.
David Gordon Green. Yeah, so that's the way you do
Yeah.
it. You get off your ass on these Friday the 13th movies. What, like, even Texas Chainsaw now almost has enough movies to rival the Friday franchise, and Friday used to blow all you guys away, money wise and number of movies wise. And
all of them,
you let
though.
them catch up.
I mean, you're telling me that when you like, I know they did all the both the Friday 13th and Nightmare did the whole serious thing before, like 10 years ago. But if they just did wacky stuff now, people would go see it. Why doesn't I'm surprised
these
Blumhouse
Halloween
doesn't.
Yeah, that's what you need, because these Halloween.
Well, that's what this is. That's what this is, Blumhouse.
I think it's just a rights thing, because every time they're about to get, but that's their fault, because they sat on it long enough for someone to come up and challenge them on the rights, because they made that remake for Friday the 13th and everybody liked it. And they just like, meh, I don't know if people really like horror movies that much. We don't have a good idea. It's like, just make a movie. Make another one. You'll figure it out if you make one they don't like.
Jason Blumhouse guy is smart enough. I bet he's tried to get as much as he can, because he realizes, like they're making a Spawn movie for like $10 million. like a low budget Spawn movie.
Their idea is to crank stuff out at low to moderate budget, so they don't.
Right.
So if it doesn't work, you didn't invest a lot. Everybody wants this model of let's make a $200 million movie that's a $1 billion movie in revenue. It's like, well, they're not all going to be that.
Right.
Make a $5 million movie. Like, look at the Conjuring universe. That's your model.
Well, look at Shyamalan too for all the.
Yeah, he would make funding him himself.
Yeah, for that and Glass and stuff. I mean, he funded all those ones, and then each of those movies, I think, made like $60 million. But
you tell me you can't make a Jason movie for that kind of money?
I think The Visit, he said he made for $5 million, and it made like $60 million. I was like, that's
and that was straight up all his money. I think he got some funding by the time he got back to Glass, but The Visit.
Have you seen his new trailer?
He funded himself.
The trailer for
it looks pretty creepy.
It looks. What he does again. Everything of his is like, it feels like it's a Twilight Zone episode. I don't know if it'll sustain a narrative. It's like it could be a 30-minute Twilight Zone episode, so we'll see.
Well, as long as you see your job is telling the story as opposed to trying to keep us from guessing what the story is going to be, like that's a futile gesture, because we're coming to the movie. We're going to get the story by the end, whether we guess it at the beginning or not. So just tell the damn story.
Yeah, I mean, he's again like I don't put him the same. I don't know. Nolan's kind of, but
Nolan,
those guys,
I swear,
outside of anything, they always have interesting ideas, like premises. Like, this is an interesting idea, and now
but those Nolans they just start to feel like after a while they're like, look how smart we are. Like, you'll never be able to understand the density of our story. Like, but what's the point then? To develop an adversarial relationship with the audience,
not humanity at all in either two. It's
like that we're never supposed to connect to the story, and that's the goal now.
I mean, that's sort of getting into that Snyder level. It's like, yeah, let's not have any sort of. It's like in Tenet, the guy's called protagonist.
Yeah,
it's like, come on, man.
Are you just messing with us at this point?
It's like, yeah, we don't need to. This is, it's just not. Anyways, that looks good. Halloween looks fun.
Yeah, I think one will be fun. I liked that last one a lot.
I was like, let Marvel make these big movies, and everybody else makes tiny movies and watch tiny.
Yeah, horror movies aren't supposed to be blockbusters. They can make a lot of money, but they're not supposed to be shooting for that.
It just seems like there would be more. It seems like Freddy Krueger is such a big, people know
one day
about
they'll
that
figure it out. One day they'll figure that out. Jackie Earle Haley could have been a good Freddy Krueger. It's just
especially even after all that.
The tone was all weird.
I did see that one, the Rick and Morty with the Freddy. Like, after all that too, like in popular culture, he's probably, more so with these Zoomer kids probably know exactly what Freddy is now.
Yeah, I mean, there's the difficult thing about Freddy, as opposed to Michael and Jason and all these others, and even like Leatherface, is all of those other characters are masked, but
imagination. Yeah.
And he's all tied to that one actor who made that character work.
Well, I think you can make it work
to replace him.
Sure, but I also think, you can make it work, but it just requires most imagination and trying to hit. Yeah, you're totally right. With Jason and Michael Myers, it's just like they didn't even talk. We don't have to pay him for lines.
Yeah, and even throughout the course, even Kane Hodder, maybe the best Jason, but he was in like 4 of the worst Jason movies. Like they made plenty of good Jason movies without him and have since. So even someone who's iconic in the role for that can be replaced because they haven't consistently had. I mean, they didn't have a consistent Jason until like 4 movies in. Like Jason doesn't come in till the second one. He doesn't have the hockey mask till the third one. So by the time the fourth one comes out, they don't have a defined Jason.
Well, and
as an icon.
And this is a bigger thing. We can talk about this when we start doing retrospectives this fall, like some more horror stuff. But like, again, I always like these first 2 of these series because they don't ever. I don't care about lore in these things like that. Like again, like I said, I mentioned the Quiet Place movies. Both of those are really well made movies. They work really well because they don't dive into lore. They like show little hints and stuff, and it's like, but it's not about that. It's just about
it's how
the first person experience of what's happening. And both of them take place over like 2 days, like a day, like 24-hour period. It's just the moment to moment. What would you do? And you can make those 2 90-minute movies that are pretty satisfying. You're like, that was fun.
Yeah, and I think the third one, they're shooting for sort of a spin-off concept to carry the franchise out. Like they're not coming back. So it'll just be
when all these movies
follow it with other characters. Like you can do that.
And you could. But when you dig into just like, well, like it's since ancient time, and that only works when it's like an Evil Dead fun sort of campy thing.
Yeah,
like,
if we start getting into the spaceship that these things came in on, like you're gonna ruin it.
Yeah, it's like who cares? It's like this is just we know what they do, we get it, and run from them and do stuff like
they're like spider monsters that don't like noise. Like that's all I need to know.
I think both, Jason and Michael are both those things basically. All right.